yeah, I'm very stubborn, and I didn't ask for help. I even have trouble asking for help now. And so these are foundational things that that come up even to this day that I still had issues with, and I don't even know where they come from. I have no idea. Because again, when you grow up in a very supportive environment, you have everything you need. I worked my ass off for everything that I earned. I never struggled financially, but everything I earned. And so, I don't know. I'd have to ask my parents. This would be a good conversation to get them on here, because seriously, I don't remember
Set it up.
ever really needing
It's gonna
help.
be a part 7 or something.
Right, and the problem is things would get too far before I asked for help and realized that I needed to go outside of myself, whether it was financially or in a relationship so this has been a long time coming of learning over and over and over again. And so, yeah, which goes into my second marriage, which is complete opposite.
No, pause. First of all, because we can't just jump the gun.
Yeah, no,
so basically, like, because we're gonna get into the conflict. So you basically recap people. She said she knew the marriage was over when we went to his mother home instead of going to our hotel. One, I had a miscarriage, so that led me into the arms of another individual for healing instead of the man that should have been my healer.
Right.
Healer, keep in mind. We gotta find out how that broke off. And then
Recording. I'm just making sure.
we know what you do. That's why there's beautiful editing.
Cameraman.
And then Keem is going to interject what you said earlier. We don't want to lose that point of why it's important for children to see conflict between mother and dad, parents.
So Keem's next.
Hey.
Welcome back.
So no, it was coincidental, funny, and like the perfect sign of the conversation we were just having the other day in the car. Saturday we was on an adventure, and he asked me a question about relationships and why is it so hard not to argue. And it's like, and it took me down this like spiral. I was like, I don't think it's hard not to argue, but I don't think it's unnecessary or necessary. Like, again, we are all different individuals. We all have different healings. We all have different backgrounds and different things. But in a relationship, there will be conflict. I don't care how you try to avoid it, there will be conflict. There will be conflict for you trying to avoid conflict, or there'll be conflict because you're looking for conflict. Like, it's gonna happen some way. It's like not intentional. Like, some people do look for that conflict because that's a sense of comfortability because of how they were previous relationships. Right. They don't only know conflict. So when they meet a person that doesn't bring that conflict, now they're uncomfortable. Like, now they gotta cause something to feel like they're okay.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that's messed up for them, but they also messing up somebody else. Like, cause they're like, why are you yelling at me for no reason? But I digress. We were talking and I was like, basically, me and my wife, we get into it. We fire signs. We go at it. Like, there's no backing down. Like, she barks, I bark. I bite, she bite. That's it. We take turns. Like, sometimes it's her kicking the chair out. She'll tell you, she's kicking the chair out. Sit down. You're not gonna like how I say this.
I love
but
that.
I need you to hear this.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Our kids sometimes see us get into it and they get upset and worried because they just see the conflict.
Right.
So there are quiet conflicts that are happening between her and her sister. We are now revisiting that. Like, because they're hit walls where there's issue now is where we have to be like, no, we need to show them because they're going in a direction that we don't like. Not in the bad direction, but at the same time, if we don't catch it now, it will.
Yeah.
So we have what we call the Parker powwow now. We got the couch downstairs. Everybody gets down on the couch. We all, acknowledge that this is a powwow.
Love it.
I'm Native American. Anyway, so we let them know that this is a safe space. This is where you can say however you feel. So me and my wife went at it last week. My oldest called the powwow. We all go downstairs. I apologize to my wife for the way I came across. But I also explained to them, it's like, you may come across the wrong way. You may get in your emotions and say the wrong thing, but at the same time, if you are strong on the point that you were trying to make, never back down off of that. You'll apologize for how it came across. You can apologize for how you said it to a person, but you never have to apologize for what you felt.
Right.
And I expressed that to my wife. I expressed that to them, what I was feeling, why I exploded the way I did, why, we're sitting here now. But I also showed them and explained to them, this is what happens when you're not around. This is what you don't see. When me and mommy go at it, afterwards, we always come back to the table and talk about it. We're going to involve you in that now so you can see how to deal with that. See that you can be all right in your feelings and be upset and say what you feel. And if you feel like you need to apologize or you need to, you can. There's always an opportunity to say, I'm sorry for how I said that to you. I'm not sorry for how I feel, but I am sorry that I made you feel like that the way I said it.
Right. Yep.
So.
That's what I'm trying to do with Raven. Like, I'm not sorry for what I said as in what I meant, but how it comes across. You can get inflamed and things come out and you feel so bad with the way it comes out, but all the same, there's a reason why I got to that point. So
yes.
That's what you need to understand, what my point is when you've had a chance to calm down and you can talk through it.
And it's helped. It's helped because now at some point, I don't know why, but I was at a certain point that my daughters would only go to my wife. They was like scared to come talk to me. I was like, I'm not a monster. Like, I know, but I was like, I don't have any boys. Like, God didn't give me boys for a reason. And I'm starting to understand why. Like,
daughters,
that gentle.
Yeah, because
I
am a full-blooded hot Aries. Yep. Like 0 to 30, I'm out there.
So you see, we having these conversations because this is why communities are destroyed, because it starts with the home. And it doesn't matter, like, you can see what Puffers is going through. It's like, this man was once one of us and he was in some form of home. So it doesn't matter how much money you have. Because I always say money just reveals who you really are or reveals what you want to do. So if you was poor all your life and you now get money, you're going to want to do something that you was not able to do, or you may also want to take it out on people that you felt was taking it out on you. So there's so many different dynamics when it comes. That's why I say proper perspective when I have a conversation with people. So in this conversation, we don't know the name of it, but this was on a whim. They didn't even know what we was going to talk about. I'm the host, so I'm just the facilitator and putting it all together. So when it comes to why these conversations are important, I keep saying the same thing. You're not alone. You're not alone. That's one. And Nikki just said it best. When you don't ask for help, no one knows what you're going through. And see, when people want to know why I'm the way, again, I'm not saying anything can be perfect. I wanted my situation to be as perfect as it can be. Like, because in my book, when I talked about arguing, the name of the section is called Only You Could Prevent Forest Fires. And what did he just say?
I know you did.
Yeah. Only you could prevent forest fires. You know who that is?
Smokey.
Smoking in there. Yeah. So now what I did, people, was break it down like this. Y'all gonna conflict. I told you I'm good at what I do.
Why are you whispering?
There's a spark. Something caused the spark. And it's one word, that's a log. Once that log get thrown into the spark, another word goes into it. So that spark now becomes a fire. And as more words are being poured into that fire, it just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Then what happens to a forest fire? It just destroys everything, it spreads. And then I also broke it down. Not only does it start a forest fire, but it could also start a civil war. Because now family get involved, and now you just start to break up family because now everybody's trying to choose a side. So these are the things that I'm trying to get people to understand, that someone has to be the fire extinguisher. Someone has to put the fire out. So in the book, the example I used was, I was living in this woman's home. So this was her home. I invaded her privacy, and what I mean by that is this was her home. She had it set up the way she wanted to set up. So by me coming and moving in, she set it up for both of us. But remember, if you're a person that like your own personal space and somebody's now living in your space, that will bother you. So it doesn't matter that she set it up for both of us to be there. It's still, I like my space. So when I seen her face and it seemed like she was about to really lash out, I said, before you say something you regret, I'm going to step away. I left the house. I went and took some time. So then when I came back to the house, the first thing she said was, I'm sorry, which go to show you she had time to think about what she was feeling, what she never told me. I said, no, you don't have to be sorry. That's the way you was feeling. I just didn't want you to overexert your feelings because I'm still human. Because me, you can say whatever you want to say to me. You can call me ugly, whatever, it ain't going to bother me because I just go find a person that think I'm beautiful. You desire to behold what you beholding. So that's why I use that as an example. Like sometimes someone has to be the person to say, you know what, let me take a step back. Now there might be some people that watch this say, you ain't always like that. Well, let me interject this little commercial for you. If I stepped away from you and you haven't seen me again, that's the reason I did it. Because it's an argument that's not productive. Mm-hmm. If it ain't productive, I don't want no parts of it. I'm just going to get away from it. Because if I'm not stopping you for what you're doing, and you're not stopping me for what I'm doing, what's the problem? What's the conversation? Right. There is none. So when it comes to these type of conversations, this is called team building growth. And it's not just team building with our team beyond, it's team building with our families. How many times I keep saying to y'all, on his birthday, I was out of work, I went to his house, celebrate with him on his birthday. You're going to probably do the same thing on your birthday. I was like, how many times I keep saying, yo, I want to do something, because it's not about just the business, it's not about just the production, it's about what's going on with you, how you feeling. We feel comfortable talking to each other. Like, it should be like that. No. If production shut down, let's get right. How can we help you get right? This is going on, okay, don't worry. Oh no, you can keep doing it. That's what. You sure you good? No, that's more important. Because if you don't have the team right, what team do you have? You can look at any sport. If you play basketball, your point guard can't bring the ball up. You can't get it to your offense. Done deal. Your quarterback can't throw the ball. You can't get to your offense. And I'm just going by the extreme of who's that person, the leader. But you still need the running back. You still need the wide receiver. You still need the guard.
You ain't got the center on the front line to protect the quarterback. He can't throw the ball.
So now, going back to Nikki, great job with the conflict.
I knew you was referring to another conflict, but we could touch on that conflict in a later conflict episode.
So you go to this man. Would you feel the guy that you went to, was he an opportunist? Because he was looking at you and saying, I could get with this woman because she's in a weak moment? Or do you really think he was really truly trying to be there for you?
I think he was truly trying to be there for me, but I think he was having his own issues.
So it's like two people going through something, like two negative coming together as a positive.
Broken people coming together to try to resolve our issues in the most wrong of ways. Most wrong of ways.
Is it me you looking for?
So yeah, unfortunately, I didn't want to continue doing what I was doing because I knew it was wrong. For however exciting it may have been in the beginning, for however it felt, it was still, I knew it was wrong, and I knew I needed to stop. And I'm like, okay, I need to reset. Let's get out of here. Let's get away. Let's go move and see if we can start a new life somewhere else. End up back at home at my parents' house, living with my parents. I got a new job, a little bit better job than I had back in West Virginia. And the premise was that he was also going to be able to work with me. That wasn't the case. So we ended up moving. I'm the only one that had the job. We're living at my parents' house. And it's just not getting better. Things are not better. Our situation's not getting better. We're not able to move out. Money's still bad. And things get even worse. And the history repeats itself. And so I find someone else.
Wait, hold up. Wait.
So, no, yeah, that wasn't the husband that she moved with.
Yeah, I moved with my husband.
I knew that was the see. I knew. I was like, wait a minute. Let's keep it. I knew. I was like, people. She moved with the husband.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I caught the detail.
When we said start over again, go somewhere else and start anew, I was like, all right, she could be talking
she basically She said
still could have been the guy.
No, if you listen, she said
I got it, but at the same time, I was like,
she said it was, even though as exciting as it been, and I understand that. Even though
tell us how, why.
Let's dig
How
into
do
your
you
past.
understand that? What did you
Get
do
me
so
off the hot
exciting?
seat.
Okay, Key. I'm gonna tell you how I understand. Okay. I put the philosopher hat. You're a philosopher? Yes.
We're not gonna.
I think very deeply. Now, here's the reason why. I keep telling people I don't judge people because, number one, if you never went through a situation, you do not know how you would handle a situation. It's like me saying if I'm married and I came home and I caught my wife in bed with another man. I know myself I would have to leave the house because if I didn't leave the house, I'm going to respond. You can't tell me, oh, I'm sorry. No, you're just sorry you got caught. So I'm going to respond on both of y'all. So instead of responding, I'm just going to leave. Now, the reason why I said it, I'm going to give you an example of what really actually happened. There was a guy that I was counseling. His wife, all she knew was him. This dude was so overprotective of his wife, like he didn't even want her to work with people in school. Like he would call the school colleges, telling them you can't have a male work with my wife. That's how insecure he was with himself. But his wife, all she knew was him. So what happened was, people would call that overprotective. That's why you notice what I called it, insecure. So what happened was, the wife, there's more to the story, but I'm skipping everything to get to the point. The wife ended up with head cancer. So she had cancer in the brain. So she's in the hospital. Instead of her being there for her, remember I'm counseling him. Instead of being there for her, he decided to mess with someone close to her in their home and got found out. So now, we was all working together. So he didn't tell me, other people was telling me. And he didn't want to tell me because he thought I was going to judge him. So when he actually came and confessed it to me, I said, I can't judge you. He said, why not? I said, because I don't know what I would do in that situation. I would hope I wouldn't do it, but you don't know what you're capable of doing in a situation till you're in a situation. So that's why what I understand, like when I got stabbed and I had a chance to inflict the same pain that was inflicted on me, I chose to forgive and move on. Because it was two options. Option two is I'm sitting in this chair. Option one is I'd have been on a run for the rest of my life. And this conversation wouldn't be taking place. So I could see the results of that decision now. And I don't need the other option because why would I even be thinking about and caring about it? So the thing about it is when you are seeking a sense of belonging, and I broke this down in a book, you will go anywhere. It could be food. It could be another person. It could be drugs. One of the guys that I was talking to, a rich guy in the book, when he came to me, he told me he used to be 400 something pounds. I said, don't tell me why. I broke it down to him. He said, not only are you 100%, 110% correct, but when this book come out, I want to read it. I said, can I use your story? He said, yes, it's in the first one. See, he used food because food could never say no. See, when you get rejected, you're going to go to and gravitate to things that ain't going to reject you.
Yeah.
So that's why I understood, like, again, she lost something. Not only did she just lose something, she lost life. I'm looking forward to this life. I have plans for this life. I lost this life. And the person that I'm expecting to be there for me is not there for me. That's not only resentment, that's anger. Now, instead of me taking out my anger on you and want to, am I telling?
Yeah.
And I want to pounce on you, let me take a step back and try to figure out myself. But as I'm looking in the mirror, there's no answer. I just want to escape. I want a way out of this. Then here come the wrong person
at the right time.
At the right time.
Yep.
Dante Martin, people.
I'm just telling. When I said I'm a good therapist, I just told y'all not. So I
let it go. So you went back home?
I went back home. Went back to Chicago. Ended up in a new job. Met someone else, and the same thing went all over again. I'm like, I
cheated twice.
Yeah.
Oh, this pretty face ain't a pretty. This ain't a pretty.
Listen. You just said all that, and then you go, just damn the woman? Come on.
No.
We all got
I'm just joking.
No. I could diagnose Nikki so fast. You're an extremist. You go from one extreme to another extreme. You
Gemini.
You're very. You're extreme.
Yes, I am.
I'm good. Y'all gonna stop paying for me on this stuff, but I'm not. So you went home. Same thing happened.
Yep.
And so when did it completely come to an end?
Whew. Not long after that. So we were there in December, and then the next fall we ended up getting into a huge fight. He threw his wedding band into the middle of the street, and that was that. Looked for a lawyer, started the divorce process. He ended up moving out, finding his own place.
In Chicago?
We were in the suburbs. We weren't in the city. Yeah. So he found his own place.
No, but I'm saying he didn't go back home.
No, he didn't.
So was it the mommy boy no more?
No, he didn't go back home. I think at that point, whatever he was going through, he knew that it was time for him to do what he needed to do, to make it on.
Pause. Did you catch that? That's why I say people got to get to a breaking point to realize that, you know what? It is I, Josiah. Ricky, another home. Okay, speak up now. Those that know Slick Rick album caught that. But nah. You see what he had to go through and the pain he had to endure for him to finally.
But his pain wasn't what you think. He didn't know.
Nikki, let me tell you.
He's talking about on the broad spectrum of the relationship between you. That level of pain, his deep-rooted pain and what he was still dealing with internally was not the turning point. It was the relationship and like finally meeting a point of this. When you say it, it's not a physical pain, but it's an emotional pain that may sometimes, like we was talking about, and my brother Keeper, is like it becomes an emotion so strong that it may turn to a physical pain. Like I, for one, understand reaping what you sow. Like I met my emotional wall that had me literally in the middle of the street on my knees talking to God.
Yeah.
I hit a wall so hard that I didn't know where else to go. Like, and that's part of like not knowing who to talk to, how to talk to somebody, feeling like if you do talk, they'll never understand, and which makes you feel more alienated in your feelings, because it's like, if I can't even explain it, I said this to my wife, I said, how do you explain an emotion? I really take the second to listen to that question. How do you explain emotions? We give names to these feelings, but can you explain the steps? What makes that what it is? What is like? It's like watching like Rocky. Like, what's your prediction? Prediction? Pain. What does that mean? Like, so it was him meeting. It was him meeting that wall of like, something has to change. Just like in yourself. That was that.
Hold up, can you keep that thought, but you gotta also remember this. I want to speak for this man. I'm hurt. I had a child with somebody. I didn't recover from that. I meet this wonderful woman. And I'm in some way hoping that this woman could be something that maybe I haven't had in my life. Even though I could be a mommy boy, but I need help to overcome what I don't understand that I'm overcoming. And yet this person not only hurt me once and I forgave, and tried to work it out, but this person then took the knife out and hit it with me again. And did you tell him you would never do it again?
He didn't know. He didn't know the whole time. He didn't know what I was doing.
He didn't know
No,
that
he
you was
didn't
cheating.
know. He didn't know until many, many, many years down the road.
And that lets you know he wasn't paying attention to his wife.
Yeah, I don't know. It was,
There's no way in the world you cheating on me and I wouldn't know.
I mean, it was very obvious. In my mind, it was obvious. And it was like almost like a cry for help to maybe
You was trying to
needed
get
him to
caught.
notice. Maybe I needed him to notice. Maybe he was so stuck in his own issues.
So there was many cries for help on both sides of the fence, sir. And they were unrecognized.
I know, King, but you know what? See, the problem here from jump was they had so much family support and they didn't use none of it.
No.
Listen, unless you walk past the box that says break glass in case of an emergency, you don't know it's there.
No. They knew it was. She said she was stubborn. The thing is, it's there. See, the thing is, if you're not, that's why I say, I'm not afraid to ask for help. And people think I'm that strong-minded, conceited, or whatever. I'm not. I will ask for help in any aspect. Whatever I need help in, I'm going to ask for help. Because you know why? You got to remember, I use these examples. Just imagine a Coke bottle. Just keep shaking up a Coke bottle. You shake a Coke bottle, put it in the freezer. What is the freezer doing? It's causing more pressure on it. So you just put in one pressurized situation into another pressurized situation. What's eventually going to happen? You got it all through the freezer.
I've done that
So
before.
you got Coke flavored ice now.
And a mess to clean up. So what I'm sitting up there saying is, this could have been diffused earlier, but it just shook up. It got me shook up. Oh, you love it. That's why.
Look, even
He's having
even
a party.
the camera stopped. It was like, all right, I'm done.
Yo, that camera stop?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, we got these. So when you shaking it up and everything, eventually, what happens? You bust. She bust. He bust.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it.
So
But it didn't end there.
go ahead.
It didn't end there. So we got divorced.
Wait a minute, time out. How's that camera off if it's plugged up?
It's not plugged in.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
That's how.
So yeah, we ended up getting divorced. He was still living, I was at home. He was living a couple towns over. And we tried again. We tried to date again after. Because of my stubbornness and because I felt like maybe I didn't do enough to keep the relationship going, the problem was I wasn't working on anything. I knew that obviously I knew I was very wrong for what I did, but I knew that I wanted to be a better wife and I wanted us to have a better partnership. I didn't know what to do. It's not like I went to therapy. I didn't read books. I didn't
seek the help.
I didn't. Oh my God!
Help,
I didn't seek anything.
What was it? What was it? Accepted help is the name of that?
Accepting help.
I didn't even know. I needed to be like hit over the head is what I needed. To just put it at a Coke bottle and knock it over my head to say, wake up, what are you doing? Go seek help, get away from everything. Just like Nada's story. She committed to herself to being by herself for almost 2 years?
A man-batical. It was a man-batical.
I didn't do that. And so I didn't take the time to step away and say, what do I need inside? What am I dealing with inside? What are my insufficiencies? Where did I go wrong? I knew I was wrong, but I didn't know where. I didn't know how to fix it. I just wanted to keep trying again and again. So that was my general nature. You want to get better at volleyball, you keep practicing, right? You keep going back at it and back at it, back at it. But there's moments where you have to step back and step away and get the macro view instead of just being inside of it all the time. So I never did do that. So again, dated, living together, same shit happened. And it's just like, okay, this is it. And so he was going through his own issues. He was starting to become more of a man that he wanted to become, going out, working, making more money. And then I was off to, shortly after that, not even a year, I was off in another relationship.
Pause. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If y'all ever notice why I say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because I want kids to learn from this too. All right. This is what the book was about.